Hi friends, Quill here. Welcome back to the channel, and a lot of new information that's been released about Pokemon Sword and Shield within the past week or so. If you're really excited about these games just like I am, make sure to hit that like button down below and keep it here. Subscribe to the channel because we are going to be covering all of this news that's coming up, including what's come out in the past week. So if you missed our last video, we kind of showed the highlights of the 24-hour live stream of Glimwood Tangle, in which we saw Ponyta was revealed. Galarian Ponyta to be more specific. And a lot of people were kind of upset by the lack of information that we got from that video, both about Galarian Ponyta and the lack of really anything besides Galarian Ponyta. But now it seems like all of a sudden within the past few days we've gotten tons of information, so we're going to try to cover it as much as possible. Alright, first up is from our friends over at Game Informer. Just like a while back, they have some more information about their interviews with Nintendo. I'm actually not going to play these videos for copyright also because they're kind of diluted with a bunch of chit chat. I want to tell you guys the news and information, but I'll leave links in the description so that you can check out these links. I definitely suggest you do. These videos go in depth about how Game Freak decided to design these Pokemon and the sort of thought process that went into that. But the really important things are their allusions to the evolutions of the starter Pokemon. And on Monday, that would be October the 14th, sorry, I'm looking at my calendar on the wall, they released information about Grookey, saying that it's sort of like the party animal. It likes to dance, and this stick that it carries around in its hair, it grows everything around it. So Grookey is kind of this life-giving, life-bringing Pokemon, and they're really harping on that in its evolutions as well. They, of course, can't give too much information about the evolutions of Grookey, but they did compare it to Chimchar and say that although they're both monkey Pokemon, they're going to evolve very differently. So we're not looking at something that's very chimp-like, but then later on they joked around and said that if it were a real monkey, it would evolve into a human, which, you know, is factually incorrect. But besides the point, that does confirm then that Grookey will not be evolving into a humanoid Pokemon either. So we're definitely headed down the gorilla sort of path, which is kind of what we expected, but now it's semi-confirmed, which is really interesting. Switching over to Scorbunny, they then referenced the fact that people who would like Scorbunny are people who like to run a lot, and that Scorbunny is like a track star sort of. And again, I suggest you go check out these videos because they talk about the design of Scorbunny, why it has the bandage on its nose, all of that lovely stuff. But like I said, we are here for the news. Again, they didn't talk very much about the evolution of Scorbunny, but they suggested it stays with this sort of track and field-esque vibe, and that trainers who can keep up with it will enjoy it the most. I don't know, it's still my least favorite. And then today, on the 9th, they released a video talking about how Sobble was meant to be sort of a sad counterpart to Grookey and Scorbunny, and how its evolutions sort of keep with that. And then this is the art director of the game. He talks about how much he enjoys Sobble's evolutions, so we know we have something to look forward to. And then they comment on the fact that all three of the starters and their evolutions are all interconnected, and that their evolutions very well fit the overall vibe of the Galar region. They said as we progress through the game and see our Pokemon evolve, it'll become clear why they were chosen as the starters. Now, they did say as you play through the game and see your Pokemon evolve, meaning or suggesting that we're not going to get any confirmation of the starter evolutions before the game comes out, which is kind of infuriating, but kind of cool too if you think about it. Again, I've commented on it before, but I do like this whole tight-lipped version of the Pokemon games. It lets us come to our own conclusions and get excited about the games even more, I think. Alright, so that is all on the starters today, but something that was also leaked today was this page out of Famitsu, which is a video game magazine, and they leaked some more information about Galarian Ponyta. There's not a lot of information because, at least to my knowledge, nobody has translated any of this page yet, but up here in the corner, I can't zoom in, but I'll try to in the video. Here is this little box that gives some information about Galarian Ponyta, and right there is a little typing indicator, and people took that color to be either psychic or fairy. Obviously, given the mystical-ish vibe that Ponyta gives off, at least to me, a lot of people were assuming that was the fairy type, but if you look really closely, you can tell that's not the color that they use for fairy types. That's the color that they use for psychic types. And that was confirmed later on when the official Pokemon YouTube channel released its own video that we're going to watch right now. Okay, so here we see there's Galarian Ponyta, and it is confirmed to be Galarian Ponyta. Some people were confused about that and not assuming that that was going to be the case. Okay, and there it's using a Psychic type attack. So when people saw that trailer, they thought, wait, it was shown using Psybeam. That's a Psychic type move. Is it not a Fairy type? And then over on the official website for Pokemon, it was confirmed that it is in fact a Psychic type. Over here, this is the official Pokemon website, so we know it's legitimate. It is called the Unique Horn Pokemon. Its type is Psychic. It stands at 2 feet 7 inches, weighs 52.9 pounds, and its abilities are Runaway and Pastel Veil. So two things that are really interesting about Galarian Ponyta are first that its typing is not Fairy. Everyone, including myself, assumed that it was Fairy, but here it is confirmed to be Psychic, so I think that's really interesting. But then we scroll down a little bit, and then we start to learn some more about the personality of Galarian Ponyta. It says, a change brought about by the life energy of the forest. It says that Galarian Ponyta have been found in a certain forest, Glimwood Tangle, of the Galar region since ancient times. It is said that they were exposed to the overflowing life energy of the forest over many generations, and this is why their appearance became unique in this region. So basically, this is suggesting that Galarian Ponyta diverged from the Ponyta that we all know long, long ago. This isn't a brand new sort of development like we saw with some Alolan forms. And then over on the right, it says, behold its glistening mane. I love that. It says, Galarian Ponyta can absorb the life energy of the surrounding atmosphere and store it in its mane. It seems that Ponyta's mane will become more colorful and even emit a sparkling glow if there's a lot of energy around. So we saw that in the Glimwood Tangle video as well. I imagine that its mane will glow when it's attacking in-game, but I guess we'll just have to see for sure what happens. And then it becomes really interesting because we see down here that Galarian Ponyta has its own signature ability called Pastel Veil, and what Pastel Veil does is it says that it's a new ability introduced in these titles. This ability prevents the Pokemon and its allies from becoming poisoned. It can even cure the poison status of condition of its allies when this Pokemon enters the battlefield. So again, we see an ability, just like Galarian Weezing, that indicates Game Freak's focus on the competitive aspect of Pokemon. Obviously, VGC, which is the premier competitive format for official Pokemon leagues, is a double battle format. Being able to protect yourself as well as your ally in a double battle from being poisoned is a really big deal. The only thing that makes me question whether it will be useful is that poison is not a very common tactic in VGC. Typically, people want to get in there and attack, do a lot of damage, and then the game is over. VGC matches go very, very quickly. I think it's really interesting because Galarian Weezing, who is a poison type and will be trying to poison Pokemon a lot, will be able to nullify this ability with its neutralizing gas ability. Here, I've pulled up Galarian Weezing so you can look at that if you haven't seen it yet. But then again, Galarian Ponyta with its psychic typing can fire back against Weezing. So here you see a bunch of really cool synergy within the Galarian forms of these Pokemon. Obviously, they're setting up for some interesting competitive give and take. We'll just have to see how well it works out in actual competitive play, but I'm really interested to see what happens. And then up here in the right-hand corner, you can see that it is a version exclusive to Pokemon Shield, which I think is an interesting choice, one that I kind of disagree with a little bit. I think Galarian Ponyta is going to be really, really popular, and making it a version exclusive, I think, complements that poorly, being that so far there are very, very few differences between Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield that we've seen. I think that they are setting up to sell a lot more Pokemon Shield than Pokemon Sword. I think that this Galarian Ponyta is a lot more popular than Sirfetch'd is, which is a Pokemon Sword exclusive. So unless they show some more Pokemon Sword exclusives that are as popular or more popular than Galarian Ponyta, I think they're setting up to sell more Shield than Sword, like I said. One more thing that I do want to go over, and it is a little bit of speculation, actually it's totally speculation. So if you watched, again, I'm going to go back to the Glimwood Tangle video, there was a point, and I'm going to show it on screen right now, where the two Ponyta that were playing in the field looked up to see something in the air, and a lot of people are speculating, myself included, that this indicates that Galarian Rapidash will be either a flying type or something that it can levitate or fly in some way. Being a psychic type, that's not terribly unlikely. We see a lot of psychic types that float or fly. Poketips, which is the channel that I found this information on originally, suggested that maybe this will be a fairy and psychic type that just flies through the air like a unicorn. Maybe it'll get levitate ability, who knows? I think that's really interesting, and I like this sort of speculation. I mean, being that the Ponyta looked up and then ran off, and then all of a sudden there's a Rapidash cry, makes that seem like a pretty good possibility. Do I know for sure? Absolutely not. But I think it's an interesting speculation and something that I'm looking forward to seeing if that is the case. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about the 3 starters and the sort of allusions to their evolutions, as well as what you think of the confirmation of Galarian Ponyta. I really, really like Galarian Ponyta. I love its design. I love that it's a psychic type, actually. I really like fairy types, but psychic types are just cool. And I'm super excited to use it in game. Other than that, my friends, don't forget to click that like button down below, comment, and let me know what you think about everything. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, we'll be covering plenty of news like this in the future. But other than that, my friends, as always, see you next time.